Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montevilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Janome 6700. In this video, we're going to talk about how to wind a bobbin and thread the machine. So for starters, let's wind a bobbin. Remember always to use the same kind of bobbins that came with your machine, which is a class 15 bobbin. So here we put our thread up here at the top. Take your thread and put it underneath this little guide here. It's spring-loaded, so make sure that the thread is between the two pieces of metal. The spring loading of that helps the bobbin thread wind nice and smoothly around the bobbin. You have this picture right up here. This is the dotted line that we're looking at, and it shows the thread tail going from inside to outside through the side of the bobbin right there. You have it so that the thread tail is coming upright like that. Okay, so we put it on the spindle, then push this little lever to the left, and this is the go button right here. So pressing on the pedal doesn't do anything, just do this go button right here. Now hang on to that thread tail for a little bit, and then we stop here. Now the thread tail on the inside has been wrapped by the wraps of thread going around it. Then we can continue winding the bobbin however full you want it to be. If I was going to wind a full bobbin, the thread would eventually push on this little stopper and cause it to stop. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So it would push on this, and eventually that's how it would stop. So you can either push this button to get it to stop or just push that back. Then when you're done winding your bobbin, bring this over here to the cutter, pull it forward, and we've cut the thread. To put the bobbin into your machine, take this little rectangle there, push it to the right, and you can take out your other bobbin, put that away, and then we're going to put this bobbin in here. Now this picture on your bobbin cover shows you how to put your bobbin in. Now it's very important that you have your bobbin with a thread tail coming off the left-hand side. I like to think of it, it looks like the letter P. So make sure you're putting it in P for perfect, not Q for not perfect. So make sure it says as like the letter P. So we're going to put that guy down in there. And then notice the picture. It has you putting the thread under this metal flange here, and that's going to put it right in the correct pathway. Right now, the thread isn't all the way in to the pathway, so we're going to stop it from spinning, pull it back like that. See how the thread sank right down between the thick and the thin piece of metal. Then you can pull this around to the left, cut it off, and there you go. If you wanted to pull up your bobbin thread through the needle plate, and sometimes I do, I would just pull it around to here and just leave it hanging out right there. I'll show you in a minute how we pull up our bobbin thread. Now for threading your machine, we go under here like this. This is your thread guide there, and then we go under here like that, down here, always making sure that your presser foot is up, because that will eliminate any tension on the tension disc. It will open it right up so the thread can get right down there where it needs to go. Now in your book, I'm going to show you this. On page 22 is talking about a little hook there that you need to be concerned with. Well, you don't actually need to see where that hook is, but it's important for the thread to go in the correct pathway. So I'm going to show you how to do that. If you simply pull this up, you can see it's not hanging on. So hang on to your thread up here, pull straight up, and listen for that little click. Now the thread is into the correct pathway. And then hanging on up here, I usually do that to get past the little stopper and the take-up lever. Come right down here, go through here. That's that guide right there. And then there's another needle bar guide right there. So again, use two hands to get there, pull it to the left. And now it's right in that little area right there. Now we need to get it into the threading mechanism. Now, just pushing it over like this is not going to get it to hold on. You need to give it a little bit of a pull. See, now it hung onto that. Then cut it here on your thread cutter, and we're ready to go. So now we push this down like this, let it go back up, And now we have threaded our needle. Now my needle threader has a hook that just wants to hang onto the thread. So I'm going to take that and just go behind the needle, pull that through there like that. Okay, I'm going to show you again how to do this, but I'm also showing you how to unthread your machine. When you go to unthread your machine, never pull the thread backwards through your machine, because that gets lint built up in the tension disc. Thread is meant to go towards the needle, not backwards away from the needle. So let's cut the thread up here, then take your thread out at the needle area and throw that extra little bit away. Okay, so do a quick thread here, 2 hands, hang on up here, come through here, little click, do the take up lever, down here, this guide, this guide, this guide, and cut it off. There's also pictures right here that help you to remember how this works. Pull that back through there. There we go. All right. Now pulling up the bobbin thread through the needle plate. By the way, if you do cut it off this way, you don't have to pull it up through the bobbin plate. You can just start sewing. But sometimes, like if you're doing gathering or something like that, you want to hang on to both threads and have them both start at the beginning. So in this case, you hold the thread upwards like this, give your needle down and needle up, and it gives that little loop of thread. Now, I don't like to get my fingers close to the pointy end of the needle, so what I do, this is my little Karen trick here, put the top thread under the foot as if you're getting ready to sew, take the tail end of that thread, swipe it straight back, and that picks up your bobbin thread, and now both threads are underneath the foot. So that is the basic threading on this machine. Pretty simple. Pretty quick and easy. It's I love this threader. It's just genius. It always works well for me. And that brings up one more thing though. When you have an automatic needle threader on your machine, it's best not to use really fine needles. Size 10 is about the smallest I would use on this. The smaller the needle, the smaller the eye of that needle, and that hook may have trouble carrying the thread through the needle if it's too small. So a size 8 needle, very fine needle. I don't usually use those. For one thing, I don't use really fine thread. So use a size 10 or larger needle when you're using the needle threader. Otherwise, you get to thread it by hand. But I like using my needle threader. So thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up. If you have questions or comments, you can leave them in the area down below. We have other videos on this machine, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.